Welcome back to another episode, and in this one, I have got a beautiful guest speaker with me, Moon Rose. Moonrosemagick is a temple mistress here to awaken your sensual soul. Head facilitator of the Temple Rose Sensual Temple Art School and co-creator of the Bliss Boudoir Erotic Wellness and Creative Adult Space in Australia. Moonrose is dedicated to awakening both men and women and couples to the full body blissful life they deserve as they reclaim their sensual wellness and right to pleasure as a way of being. Moonrose is also a temple burlesque and erotica artist who loves to inspire your Eros in unique and artistic ways. Sounds so delicious. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. I should have you at my events introducing me that way. That made it sound so juicy.
It's so good to have you here. I'm usually asking my guest speakers a couple questions just to start. Where are you currently at on your self-love and pleasure journey, and what brings you personally the most pleasure?
My self-love and self-pleasure journey. So I am very much on a journey of self-pleasure is self-care. And so it's a priority for me to have practices around connecting with my own body. And that doesn't always look like orgasms or, what we perceive self-pleasure to be. It's just about creating space and time. I treat it like ritual. I treat it like ceremony. I love to dance. I love to touch my body. I breathe. Like, I'm at a place now with my pleasure where I can have these full body orgasms just from the breath, sound, and movement. And so it's really about following the current for me. And then that translates into the pleasure of my life, pleasure as a state of being. And I'm really in a place of like erotic gratitude. That's my goal for life right now, is finding turned on gratitude in everything, which feels orgasmic and is like self-pleasure all the time.
So true, because there's pleasure all around us as soon as we are just opening ourselves up for it. And as you said, gratitude is like, it can change that little bit. It's so simple, such a simple practice, but it can change so much. Beautiful.
It's like that erotic awe and wonder. You can feel pleasure from watching a beautiful sunrise, from the colors, from the experience of awakening the senses, which really is what that tantra in its essence is about. It's not just about pleasure as sex. It's like a whole state of being where you're in ecstaticness with life.
Yes. I've recently recorded a section for my online school, and it was all about pleasure, to actually talk about pleasure. And I mentioned the different types of pleasure, like aesthetic pleasure, where we look at something and we're like, this looks so beautiful, and it just brings us pleasure. But also like the physical pleasure, the sexual pleasure, the social pleasure that we can get from just like hanging out with friends and having a good laugh. And there's so many different pleasures. And as soon as we just open ourselves up to experience one, it can filter through to the next and to the next.
Yeah. It's like love, really love and pleasure in these ways of, there isn't just one way of experiencing it. There's so many flavors of it that when you allow yourself to be with each flavor, there's an enriched experience with each essence of getting to know yourself in that process. And like I said, becoming for me, pleasure becomes a state of being rather than a thing. And then I'm just in this state of being that creates like this vortex that just brings more things, because it's almost like you hack your nervous system to go, all right, we really want things that are pleasurable. Let's keep bringing that in.
And as you just said, like pleasure as a state of being. So you are pleasure. So when you are pleasure, you attract more pleasure. And it's just like pleasure all around.
Yeah, because it's like you're open to the pleasure, right? Like this is where I think self-pleasure becoming a practice is rewiring your nervous system that it's safe to receive pleasure, that it's a priority. And then you do get into this state of like, I remember when I first got into more self-pleasure and learning about that, because I grew up in the Middle East, right? So I grew up in a Muslim country where, it's a very no-no in an Irish Catholic household. So I was like, this is not a place to go near. But when I went near it and I realized, wow, there's so many things I didn't know about my body. And it wasn't a I need healing experience. It was, what am I capable of? Like just this curious little innocence in me that's like, I can have how many orgasms in what ways? Like, I'm in, let's go.
So how, like, what is a temple mistress for everybody like listening who's wondering like, okay, I maybe know mistress, but what is a temple mistress and how did you get onto that path of becoming a temple mistress?
I love this, because I think there's saying things like the title of a temple mistress is not something that I say, nonchalantly. I really, it's a really firstly a path of devotion because, the space that I've created, the Bliss Boudoir and, the space that I hold with the Temple Rose that, it's a sensual mystery school essentially, is really a space of devotion. And I think that's the first kind of energetic that to be a temple mistress is, it's a complete path of devotion, of love, of embodying this state of being and this thing that you're here to hold space for. And, the word mistress, I think, also gets overly put into the porn category of, oh, it means that you're this or that it means dominatrix, right? When actually mistress is just the female word for master. So to be a temple mistress is to be a temple master, meaning that I hold a space for the temple arts, for this way of being, for this pathway that allows us to understand the bridging to pleasure as that state of being. I'm really passionate and devoted to a pathway that, like I said, is my core purpose. Feels like I'm here to awaken people to their sensual soul, that the soul actually sits within this erotic place within us. It's a gateway to understanding who we are. So I hold, as a temple mistress, I hold a space for healing. I hold a space for education, for safety, for people to explore these things. And I do hold it with a divine reverence towards our erotic self. That's what it means to me. And I hold that title with love, as I have many beautiful people that I'm teaching and holding space for and creating space to explore. So it's kind of like that divine mother, high priestess energy that's holding the womb, that's holding the space for all to be explored, to love, to expand, to heal, to grow within.
Beautiful. So beautiful. And you've not always wanted to be like a temple mistress, or like where was that path of like, hey, this is, I think, my calling?
Yeah, like I said, I think when I was younger, it was more, I just wanted to feel safe in myself. I wanted to know my pleasure. I had no interest in being a temple mistress or holding a space or being in devotion, meaning, being in service. When I was younger, it was more about, I want to know me. I need to know me before anyone else. And I had to go on the first level of that path, which is turning within and getting to understand my nervous system, healing the parts that needed to be looked at, and our sexuality is such a core part of that healing process that I see a lot of people kind of teeter around the edges with, of, yes, I'll do the mindfulness and the yoga and the soul searching and the breath work, but don't go near the base. And the funny thing is when I started to realize, even when I just started doing normal healing stuff, like I was working in an adult shop and had the learning about sexuality whilst doing shamanic work, and I would naturally activate people, and it started to feel wrong for me to wrong that energy, because it was just like earth energy in our body. And I was like, why are we kind of going around this gate when actually we need to reclaim this gate? And so by me going on a path of, to be very honest, it wasn't, I want to heal the world. It was, fuck everyone. I want to feel good in myself. I want to feel like I can be who I truly am. And who I truly am has a very erotic energy. And I just wanted to be me. And on that journey of unlocking and learning and understanding, I feel like it's natural that the holding space and to be of service comes, and it does feel like, oh, I'm in this thing now. Here's this thing that's greater than me. And maybe there's a soul reason of why I've had to go through this journey to then be a pathway and hold a torch, like the journey in the goddess of Hecate, who holds the torch and the light for the souls that may not know where they're going. And you're like, well, here's one key that I can't do it for you. I'm not here to fix anyone. This is why I'm really, why I've created a creative adult space, is because I believe play is so important for adults to realize that they can do that, and it can be erotic, and it doesn't all have to be healing. A lot of healing comes into play, and I'm not here to fix it or do it for you, but I'm just going to hold this torch here, and I can walk with you as I've gone beyond self and connected with that devotion of seeing everyone as connected to me.
I love that explanation with a torch, because I'm here, I can help you, I can guide you, I can like support you along the way, but you're gonna have to walk the path. Like, it's your path, and you're gonna have to go and make the decisions along the way. But I can show you there's play along the way.
And that really is the dark feminine energy, right? Like, she's erotic, she's sensual, she's the mystery of life. She is the goddess, and she's usually depicted as the one who guides the souls, or that mother energy of rebirth. That's like, I'm not here to fix it all, but I'm just going to hold you in this love. And here's some keys for you, but it's your door to unlock. And I truly believe that life is here for all of us to realize that there's so many doors. And this is what I love about erotic expression. There's so many erotic expressions that are going to suit you at different stages of your life, that are going to be where you're at. And that's really what that temple mistress holds, is I'm not here to judge or shame it. If you're on that path of self-healing and you just want to feel safe in your erotic innocence, beautiful. I want to create that space for you. If you want to explore your kinky self and own the fuck out of your desires, I'm so here for that. And I'll hold the torch and give you a safe space to walk within that and laugh with you as you fuck around and find out, because it really is like our greatest key is to be just in that innocence of playfulness of, what do I like? What do I not like? Oh, I like that touch. I don't like that touch. Rather than thinking that it's going to be one constrictive path. That's what I really believe of when we approach it like that. Pleasure and life opens up, and then we're with what's possible. We allow what's possible to reveal itself rather than fearing what may come up.
That's beautiful, especially because you can be your most authentic self. And as you said, through finding that path and now being like a temple mistress, you can hold that safe space for others to explore themselves. So you can, like, and it doesn't feel like work. Same for like me, what I'm doing. It doesn't feel like work. It's like, it's just me being myself, but automatically like spreading that energy and just like taking others in and just showing them what's possible. So what is happening at the Temple Rose, and what kind of like challenges people facing when they start to reach out? Why are they reaching out to explore the Temple Rose and see what you've got to offer? Kind of like goes into one question probably. But yeah, I can imagine, because a lot of people might be feeling shame or holding themselves back, and they just want to like, I don't know, I've got this desire, like you said, and like, what can I do?
Yeah, the big themes that I see, like there's huge themes that I see. And I think when people come to me, it's because I feel safe, and you can feel that I'm not going to judge what's there. And that's a huge permission piece, to just sit in your body. It's like, oh, if I didn't try and hide, because most people are actually terrified of how turned on they are. Like, if we were to actually feel the the extremity and the sensation of our actual desires, it can be frightening to the subconscious mind. And so most people are seeking that permission piece of like, can I just find this space to feel safe, to feel that level of turn on? Because what does it mean? And what does it mean if I was to feel that in my body? And I think there's just such a lack of education around these like stages of our life, you know, like couples who fear feeling the turn on about someone else, and that their desires that they shut down in their relationships, rather than the safety to know that I can express my desires with my partner. And it doesn't mean I have to act on them, but I'm safe with my partner to not be judged if I'm like, hey, that really turned me on, or I got excited about something, and they embraced me in that rather than I felt a sense of judgment or shame. I think a lot of people come to this temple because they just want the permission and the freedom to know that it can be shame-free. Like what I love, an example would be, and a big passion that I have for this space is, you know, here at the Bliss Boudoir, we have erotic services. We have devotional erotic bodywork. You know, we're bringing things that are bridging worlds between the erotic massage, between tantric services, between conscious kink, and just giving people this space to go, you know what, you know, if you want to explore that. And I really feel this passion of, there's nothing more delicious when people get the actual space to own it. And I'll give an example of even women. Like we automatically perceive it's men, right? I'm having deja vu. That means this is good. We automatically perceive that it's like, oh, men. And it's like, well, you know what? The amount of inquiries I have from women who either want a tantric massage from a male, and they don't necessarily want it to be just a therapeutic de-armoring. They want pleasure. They want guilt-free. I just want to feel that in my body and feel desired or feel the yumminess. Guilt-free pleasure. That's one of the things. Couples who want to explore something together, they want to feel safe within it. They want to feel like they're both being, you know, treated in this beautiful adornment, and they want to experience it together. And also men, like the amount of men, and this is where I feel so much in my heart, is the amount of men who, you know, think they're seeking this thing, and then, you know, they've been shamed, you know, the fear of being seen at an adult parlor. And then all of a sudden they're getting a non-erotic yet loving touch from someone who understands presence behind touch, realizing that they're not receiving that in their life, or this weird stigmatism around this work. And I'm seeing it so online that I just, you know, there's men out there who've lost their wives, or, you know, they haven't been touched in 15 years. And the empowerment of being received and loved in this beautiful way, I think is what the world is missing, and what we used to actually have in ancient times. We had the temples of the goddess, and where sacred sexuality and this work was a part of society, and we didn't have all this bullshit around it that if you can't feel the turn off coming off me. I'm so passionate about reclaiming this and making people feel safe to know, you know what, you're allowed to have that desire. You're allowed to be curious about your energy. You're allowed to like not fear the potentiality of that sensation within you, and you get to fucking own it. You get to experience it and find out who you are in that process.
100%. I think it's that being seen, being heard, being held, having that safe space, and to just also being worshipped and touched and feeling that pleasure. Because like you said, back in the days we had all of that, and now it's a lot of technology. And even though when we are couples, or it doesn't matter, men, women, we all crave that being seen, heard, and held. So if we just get that pure attention and that being present in the moment, it's just so delicious, and it's just such a game changer.
And the releasing of shame, like to actually be what I find with, like, you know, for instance, the conscious kink stuff we do. We have a session called the Tired Teas, and it's really delicious
Hi,
because it's all about sensation play. Yeah. And it's all about, it's not kink, you know, we perceive dominatrixes and we perceive this dark and dirty and it's all humiliation, and it's actually tantric kink is radical devotion to hold someone in a submissive state, to create impact and sensations in the body for them to get curious on what's there, can both be a somatic healing that the soft stuff can't do, and also can be really ecstatic and orgasmic and create these altered states of consciousness. It's like the DMT in the body can get woken up. And I find that most people allowing themselves to get curious with it and go, you know what? Like, yeah, what would it be like if I let that submissive part of me come out and I release the fear or the shame? You know, a huge one, a lot of women actually go for these kind of services because it can actually heal our relationship with dominance. And, you know, a lot of women who've been through domestic violence or are closed off or, you know, have that. This can be so empowering and healing to reclaiming those parts that are holding shame or are shut down in the body in a real somatic process that I think is so underestimated and so is so therapeutic, that I think if more people understood the potency and the power of these processes, they would stop seeing it as, this is just some sex thing and it's, you know, only dirty people do that, or slutty or shameful, or this, like, you know, religious whore, Jezebel, Babylon, you know, energy that's actually rejecting these really innocent, and that's how I see it, innocent parts of us and powerful parts of us that we get to reclaim as beings. I love giving people the space to know that they're safe to own it in the body, and also within, you know, on the other side, adult workers and teaching women. Like, I'm actually realizing how much I have a passion on teaching women how to touch with love, understanding how trauma comes up in the body. How do we go from the erotic masseuse to the devotional erotic body work, which changes the whole energy of the experience from prostitute to priestess? I can feel it in me when I say it. It's like that womb power of the divine feminine is like, the world, like, we have a well of this energy that we are tapped into when we reclaim this. And it's usually through pleasure that when we reclaim it, it's going to come up to the heart, and then we're going to remember. And we're like, wow, what powerful healing beings we are, that actually our sensuality as goddesses heals our environment. It's actually like what the world needs right now.
Yeah, it definitely needs a lot of more slowing down, being present, using all your senses, and just really, like, be a state of being and not just doing and going for things. You are functioning, but you aren't feeling. You hold it all together. Your life, career, motherhood, relationships, and you keep pushing through. You keep managing, doing one thing and another thing, people pleasing, a life on autopilot. And underneath all of it, you ask yourself, is that really it? Is that what's life supposed to be? Your mind rarely stops. You keep overthinking. Your sleep is broken. Your digestion is off. And rest makes you feeling uncomfortable. That is your nervous system stuck in survival state. Your body has forgotten how to feel safe, how to soften, how to receive, how to feel good. And what's missing is not more effort. What's missing is pleasure, somatic pleasure. I am Patricia, an ED/DV survivor, a former nurse, mother, a pleasure explorer, and an award-winning educator in somatic pleasure. I am the founder of Pleasure Lit. My trauma-informed somatic pleasure approach blends nervous system regulation, tantra, sexuality, breathwork, yoga, meditation, identity shift, and feminine embodiment. And if this sparked something inside of you, join us within the Pleasure Lit Woman program, which is my 8-week group program, helping you from functioning to feeling radiant, regulated, and deliciously turned on. You're also invited to join us within the Pleasure Lit Circle, which is my online community membership for women, where we have got live calls, somatic practices, resources, masterclasses, and so much more. You can also explore my self-paced online courses all around pleasure and follow along Patricia's Pleasure Ed for more pleasure tips, and if you like to submit your questions. When you prefer reading, you can get my #1 bestseller book, The Pleasure Lit Way. And if you like more personalized support, book yourself in for a one-on-one coaching session. For more details and how to join it all, go to pleasurelit.com.
And that pleasure isn't bad. It's actually,
Yes.
It can be healing to your body. It can wake the cells up. A full body orgasm is merely a side effect. You know, it's the symptom of when we let go and unlock on these levels and let our energy move freely.
I have met a woman a few months ago. So we went out for coffee, and then she said at the end, would you be interested in a tying session? Like I could do some rope so we could like explore our connection. And I thought, wow, this is such a beautiful way. I also felt very safe with her. So when we did go ahead with a tying session, like she's done the boundary setting, the talk, the consent, like we've gone through the whole lot. And just at the first talk, I'm like looking at her, I wish I had met you like 10 years ago when I had these experiences. They were not like that. And it was not sexual at all, but it was that sensation of just letting go, surrender in that moment, the sensation of like being tied, the sensation of the rope, the energy exchange that we had, her intentional touch, why she was roping and unroping. I was just like, after that, I'm like, wow, like that was so orgasmic. It's not about sex. It's that pleasure that you can experience through just like easing into the moment. King parties, for example, there's rarely someone penetrating someone, that there's so much more education needed for people to actually open themselves up to that experience and having no shame and exploring their kinky side or their side of pleasure.
And this is why I love tantric kink, right? Because like one of the workshops, and I'll be at Sexpo in July, and one of the talks that I'm doing is orgasmic spanking. And this is one of my favorite workshops to run, right? Because I actually go into the science and I talk about how to achieve or take someone into a full body orgasmic state just through impact play. And there's no penetration. There's no actual sexual, because we are so erotic. Like the difference between being an erotic being and just being sexual, life is erotic. And we only know the tip of the capacity for what we're capable of feeling in sensation and in our experience that actually has nothing to do with sex. And this is where when people start to come out that box, right? Because we're like very programmed. There you go. There's sex. That's how you do that. That's when you connect. That's blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, it's like, what if I step outside? We start to create a whole new paradigm of pleasure. That's what Tantra really offered me when I first began to understand it, was this paradigm of pleasure was really not the full spectrum of what's possible. And that can be, and most people, if the ego doesn't want to comprehend that, it can see all of this as a threat. It's like, you know, what do you mean you can spank someone into an orgasm? Oh, that sounds, because the ego's like, you're taking me out of what I know, and I don't like that. When we're willing to let go of realizing we know nothing, mm-hmm. There can be excitement. Like you either fear and arousal are the same thing. And so idea of, well, what else is there? And like, what do you mean I can have a full body orgasm? And when you open or allow yourself to release and be willing to hear what's possible, to see what's possible, to be with what's, beyond the box. And most people, like, you can either stay in the box, but then there will come a time in people's lives where you'll get pushed outside the box if you don't consciously choose to open your mind. The shadow will find a way to, all that suppressed truth will boom. And so this is why I love this, and why I see the sensual temple arts, like the Temple Rose journey is the sensual temple art school, is when we choose to go on that journey of understanding and we actually create the space to learn, to understand techniques, we start to realize there's so much more that if we actually took the time to become aware with, e.g. shibari rope, right? You can have adult workers out there. I see this all the time with adult workers, right? They think that, I'll just become an erotic masseuse, or I'll become kink, like the dominatrix, and I'm just going to use this rope. And it's like, no. Everything is an art. And when you become the artist, right? Lovemaking is an art. Opening someone's body is an art. When you become present, when you take the time to learn your brushstrokes, right? There becomes this space of creativity within that thing that is where the depth and the beauty is. And what you find when you're around people who know what they're doing, meaning they know how to create a scene, they understand if something comes up in the body, how to hold that space or guide you through. And then they actually understand the tools they're working with. This is the big reason why I teach orgasmic spanking, because when I was teaching orgasmic spanking, before people, like at a kink party, they'll go to the table with all the whips. It's like, before you even think about touching that whip, if you don't know how to use this, right? If you don't know how to connect with this with someone, if you don't know how to engage with impact, how it feels in their body, how to have these conversations, right? And not see the conversations as mood killers, but actually enhancers, right? Then we can go to the tools, but then they merely become an extension of the experience, because you're like the channel for that journey. So what I love about these realms is I only play with people who know what they're doing. And I find usually the kinkiest people are the people who have the best communication, who are able to speak to their desires without fear of shame and rejection and bullshit. And they're not afraid of what pleasure can open in you, meaning they can have a deeper capacity to hold when the shame comes up, when the fear comes up, when the grief comes up, when emotions come up. They're not going to run. They can navigate it because they've integrated those dark parts of themselves. That just gave me
communication is key, and it's just so hot and sexy as well. So it's just the basics of it, and then you can build up from there. And as you just said, there could be someone who's just doing it, like the rope session. It could be just, I'm just doing rope. But no, it was like a journey. It was art. It was like the intentional touch and the way it was, and then the pulling of the hair or the neck movement. It was all a journey of art, and you could feel that. And it's just like, this opens yourself up for pleasure. So where could people find you? Where is Temple Rose, the Bliss Boudoir? What kind of services?
How can they get involved?
Yes.
So we actually, this has been an amazing project that has been very much in the works. We are on the border at Tweed Heads, so that's on the border of New South Wales and Queensland. We are blessed to have this beautiful space where I have a lot, and this is what I love about this space, is everything we spoke to. The big difference between this, what we're creating here, and what we want to, by the way, extend out to Melbourne and Sydney and really just templify this space, is a lot of the people here are trained professionals. And the other people here that offer, say, the erotic massage services, go through training to have a certain level of standard understanding and depth of space. So it's not just your average space. We're really, truly wanting to create a place where people feel that their sensual soul, feel safe to open and unlock these spaces in fun and playful ways. So yeah, we're in Tweed Heads. I do travel sometimes to Newcastle. We have Sexpo coming up. I do go to Melbourne sometimes. Like I said, I've got my eyes on Melbourne. And we do have lots of things for adult workers as well who want to. We got lots of facilitated trainings for those who don't just want to see what they're doing as just getting by. It's like this is a devotional path. And what I want people to understand, or I call forward in this industry that, has its light and its dark, is that not everyone in this is just in it for shame or trauma or moving from shadow. There really are people in the adult industry that are here because they feel a devotional call and can hold this healing erotic space that, takes it from just an adult worker in the shadows to I'm on a path of devotion and I can hold this space, which changes the whole energy, which is that Mary Magdalene. It's the sacred whore wound of integrating the dark feminine in her power, which is what we're coming into, and what her love and her job is when she brings it into the heart and reconnects back to the truth of this work.
You should also come up like higher than Brisbane just before the Sunshine Coast, because I feel like since I've completed my Tantra practitioner and I wanted to connect more with like-minded and just like also practice a little bit more Tantra, not just necessarily like teach straight away, but also like more, just, experience it. Is either the Sunshine Coast or it's down there where you are?
Yeah, I've got some really amazing connections in Brisbane and Sunshine Coast that afterwards I'll send you their links, because I'm once again all about creating, like, let's create the network. It's not just me. I don't want to be I'm a temple mistress, but I'm not here to be a guru. And we're all temple mistresses at the end of the day. We all are here with these delicious codes and pillars and turn on that the world, like when we bring it together, we create this web of orgasmic bubbling that raises the vibration of this planet, which is what I'm here for.
Yeah, because we all have like different kind of wisdom and like energies within us that comes out, and especially when you bring them all together, it's like, oh.
That's how I hear it. It's like the wombs go.
You can just feel it just being present in that room, and everyone's just like, oh, I do this art and I have this energy, and it's just like bring it all together.
Yes, and I've got lots of, if you like Shibari rope, I do have some Shibari rope experts here. We run Shibari rope classes. That is one of the things, you're saying my self-pleasure and my self-care. At least once a month, I have a mistress here who is an expert in tantric kink and Shibari rope. And one of her duties is at least once a month, she has to tie me up, and minimum for me to enjoy that.
But it's a good feeling to be like,
yes. Well, when you're doing a lot, that's my shut me up, tie me up, get me out of my head. Let me go.
That's why I'm usually like more in that subspace, because I'm such an independent person. I'm such a like doer in life. I'm in charge and control. And then that is my time of like, no, like
shut me up.
Like, can someone else like take on charge? And I'm just like, I just want to be. Like I want to be. Yeah. I want to feel, experience. And then after that, it's like my balance.
Amen. I'm here for that.
So where can people find you? Like, do you have got internet website?
Yeah, so they can either go Google or follow www.theblissboudoir.com, or there's a newsletter there. They can see what's going on in the space. They can follow on Instagram, theblissboudoir.official. And we do have a online member section that's going to be launching soon for those who may not be able to come to the space but want to learn and see masterclasses and see what goes on in sessions. I really want to bring some temple erotica and education and just some really yummy stuff to those who may not be able to actually come to the physical space. I get a lot of those requests, especially overseas. It's like, well, how do I just show you what this is, or how do we explain how to give a tantric cock worship or a yoni massage? Like, I just want to show you.
Because especially when I've like met you or connect with you, I'm like, oh, that energy, and like you don't want to like reach out to someone locally where you don't have that connections, but you want to learn it from someone else and want to see and want to feel that energy, but they're maybe miles away. So online, that option is amazing.
Yes. And we'll be doing that through the members section. What I love about the work that's coming through with this, and even what you're doing, is really releasing this and debunking the shames around. Even our member section is going to be on OnlyFans. I have a temple blog, an erotica blog on OnlyFans, because it's just a platform and we can really bring some delicious things that people deserve to learn and see and explore and bring, it's like this exists, but also there's those of us who are going to bring this, and you get to, receive the transmissions from that as well.
Yeah, just wish they wouldn't take so much of a cut for
Yeah.
it.
Yes, and people can also follow me, Moonrosemagick, and that's magic with a K.
Yeah, I'm going to pop that one in the description as well. Do you have a favorite pleasure toy or favorite lingerie?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about this. I'm like, oh, what kind of pleasure? When it comes to self-pleasure, I really do like, things like the womanizer. I like things that suck on the clitoris, because I feel like it resensitized my area. The actual suction, after years, like when I was younger, using vibrators and bullets and the pushing down, I found the sensitivity of it actually pulling it back out was like, whoa, there's my nerve endings. Hello. And I personally like my crystal and my glass ones, because I like temperature play. And I also like to play with the energies. I would say it's more what I do with the toys, like the tantra techniques with the breath work, the space I create, the dancing, and oils. My God, oils. Give me smelly things. Give me things that are going to open me to my breast massage. Is like, bring in that womanizer, and that's just the warm up, Yeah.
Any favorite lingerie, if you wear any?
Oh, actually, we do have. I've just started to get some for the Bliss Boudoir. So we have. I've been really enjoying. I'm a robe gal. Give me different robes. If you go and follow me on anything, you'll notice I wear a plethora of different robes, because that's my little, Egyptian temple attire mistress vibe that I feel I could wear to the shops, or I could wear to the bedroom.
Yeah, and it feels like nice to like sit on you, and it can slide down a little bit, goes up.
Yeah,
like
it's it's that it's like a statement piece, but I feel robes are my thing. You don't have to wear clothes with them either, or you can add them as a fashion aesthetic.
Love that. Do you have any book recommendations?
Ooh, for the women, one book that I read at least once a year, and I can't remember the whole thing, but it's called Womb Awakening. Don't know if you've heard of it. Okay, I'll send it to you so you can put the links in the comments. But this book was an absolute awakening transmission that just it's not even that it just put language to a lot of things, especially women out there who are more energetically sensitive, or go into pleasure. Because here's the one thing that I found when I went into deeper self-pleasure: when you go into the womb, you're going into the mystery. And when I started to unlock deeper pleasure, I started to unlock deeper orgasmic shamanic experiences that I was like, whoa, there's a whole portal in there. And so this book actually really grounded a lot of language for me to understand what was going on in my spiritual journey with my womb connection as well. So I always recommend that book as a foundation of every woman needs to hear this, because it's the rites of passage we didn't get.
Awesome. Love that. I'm going to have to check it out. Last question, and we're going to leave the audience with that. I like to always ask, what is your number one tip for self-love and pleasure?
I think the big thing around it is gratitude. I mean, gratitude, your body, like this is such a major thing, right? If you're holding shame towards your body, if you're holding, like, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't, you immediately have a program, which most people do, of not good enough, right? It's like shaming your animal. Your animal is your primal experience. I like to see it like a puppy. Your animal, your body's your puppy, right? And your puppy, if you're shaming your puppy, if you're wronging your puppy, if you're, let's get this over and done with, and taking from your puppy, but not appreciating the simple things of your animal, allows you to feel. It allows you to feel pleasure. It allows you to get the tingles and sensations and the experience of being a human, right? If we're not grateful, that is such a big arousal turn down. So if I want to experience pleasure as devotion, as a state of being, and I'm not grateful for pleasure, the simple pleasures of life, that's going to really dial down or bring my pleasure into shame or anger or frustration or disconnected from my heart experiences. The biggest thing that I can say before you even like go into the depth of I want big full body orgasms and cervical things and G-spots is, can I actually take a moment to just say thank you to this amazing matter that just happened to come together to create you, that can feel so much pleasure, that can walk you through your life, that allows you to feel me right now, that allows you to, even if you're like, fuck this bitch, fuck everything she says, she's annoying, you still feel that in your body. You have a vessel that has its fingers, has its toes. Even this morning, I had pleasure from just watching all the colors in the sky.
Yes.
Like the fact that I get to see those colors, it really brings you back into this now. And, that is where all pleasure, true pleasure is going to come from. So it's not that you can't have shameful pleasure and all the other, fearful and stress response pleasure. But if we want to start to expand our capacity and bring it up to the heart, it starts with being kind to your body. Hello, how are you? Thank you. I'm going to touch you, not to try to just get to a goal, but because I'm showing you adoration. Ladies, if you want a man to treat you like a goddess and to have adoration for this temple, and you don't, it starts there.
It all starts with you.
Yes. Adoring yourself is not, it's not egotistical. It's actually, it's like you're sitting above yourself and seeing your human, and you're like, wow, look at this human.
She's hot.
Look at my avatar, and she's so special. And it's almost like you'll get a little wag in your tail because your body's like, she's finally responding to me. She's giving me the attention that I'm actually wanting. And I think it's out there, but it starts here.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and sharing your wisdom with us.
My pleasure. This is the goods, if more of us can have these conversations and, debunk the fear, the shame, make this an okay conversation and a safe conversation to have, I believe that we'll have softer bases in the world and a safer place to live.
I would love to hear from you what has resonated the most with you from this episode. You can leave us a comment down below. And when you like this episode, make sure you follow and subscribe to the show, give it a 5-star rating, and also share it along so we can spread more pleasure into this world. You can access my free workshop at pleasurelit.com/links. Sending you lots of love and pleasure. Mwah.